Welcome back to my studio. I'm Bea Grob and I love to inspire you. It is all about art journaling, painting, collage, assemblages, and anything else that sparks my interest. So enjoy! Hey everybody! Welcome back. So glad to have you here in my studio again, so to speak. And in case you're new here, I'm glad you found my channel. Now, I'm here again for the look back, this time for February 2022, just in case you watched that years later. Anyway, I wanted to tell you a little bit about what's going on this month. It was a rather short month, but still I managed to put in quite a bit actually. So we had lately really some warm days, unusual warm, like spring-like weather, which in February isn't the thing we usually have. So I felt like I wanna do some painting some flowers. I had the urge to paint some flowers, so I decided to do some watercolor fuchsia. I hope it's kind of hard that there's not to have a glare. So anyway, that's what I did paint, and as my reference I had this photo image which I actually took in a nursery at one time. I do go to nurseries not just to buy actual plants, I also take pictures. So that's one of those. And then I usually just pick some of the elements. So I didn't do, for example, these leaves up there. I totally, oh you can see it. I totally left those out. Just pick what I like and do my own version of this photo. That's one of the things I did. There are other things I did. I was pretty busy with a new online class, which is coming soon, and it is called The Bird's Nest. So what I usually do, I start with several. First of all, I did the first thing I did actually in an art journal page, which I don't have here right now, and then I did like little put it on little leftover pieces, and then I started with canvases and watercolor papers, and I did actually two of those. I did film so that you can follow along and make your own version of your bird's nest. As I said, it's gonna start on March the 20th. It's available over at my webpage, and at the moment there is an early bird prize, so don't miss that opportunity. I think it's fun little painting, and you could use it also as a gift or put it like several on a shelf or something like that. Hopefully I do have a show in May again, an art show, art and craft show, and I hopefully gonna sell some of those. We'll see. That's the other thing I did. I did work on my class. Let's put that aside. Now, I am in several swaps, and I was also working on my swap for different groups. That's for a textile group. I did my mail art postcard. I have used some fabric underneath, and then did print on some Japanese paper one of my bird stamps, did sew together everything, and then started stitching for my mail art postcard. Mine goes to Canada, I know that already. Now this is for, I'm in a book group on the Northwest Coast for bookies. And we do have a swap where we do a scroll book on a spool, and I'm started with this piece here with stitching embroidery. And yeah, that's the other thing I started and I'm still working on. Another thing I'm working on, and hopefully will be done pretty soon, is a nude art journal with 2 signatures. I kind of like the books that have more than one signature, so I decided to do something like that. One signature is going to be here on this side, and the other signature is going to be here on this side, and that's what it's going to look like. I mean, I rather like that. And I have already chosen my button to close the whole thingy. What I also did is I made collage papers for the people to use, and I actually gonna put it up on the website too, so that you can grab them too if you like it. I have like old graph paper, some are my own drawings, things like that are my own drawings, but I also have from different old vintage magazines from the 30, 40, 50s. I do have made collage papers too. This gonna be maybe also a class in mixed media and more on Monday, but I'm gonna talk about that more, about mixed media and more on Monday, just after I have done all the other things I have here on my table. You can't see it, it's large. Anyway, if I need a break, I like to look into art books, and I think it was Sandy Hester. I'm gonna put the link to her video down below somewhere. I'm not sure, but I think it was her who showed that book, and I thought, I need that. I need this book. I really like the idea of having a theme where you can find paintings from different artists in their different styles, and I already have found something that I'm probably gonna do in a art journal page pretty soon, and I think I don't know how much the camera picks it up, but there's more like a tealish, blue-greenish background, and I kind of like that. We'll see if I can come up with something similar. I mean, I'm probably not gonna do the whole thing, just, yeah. But there are so many inspirational pictures in here which you can choose and pick the elements you like. I actually also like this hilly scene and the sky in the background. Yeah, it's just amazing how variegated the inspiration is and how variegated the artists interpret the same theme, the trees. And this actually, there is something I want to do with trees and machine stitching. So yeah, I think it's a great book. I like it. Yeah, that's what I do when I don't feel like really working on my own. Now, right after this little intro, you're gonna see some snippets from our walks. It's gonna be a combination from different walks, yeah. For those who don't know, we live in the Valley of Toes, and in this time of the year, I mean, it's a little bit too early. It's February. It should still be snow everywhere and should be cold, but it's really unusual warm and spring-like weather. So what I want to say is, in spring, whenever this spring is, I mean, it's really early, we have areas, the side arms of the valley, which the sun doesn't go into so much because of the deepness of the valley. You still have snowy patches and cold, icy areas, and then on the other hand, in the more larger areas, you can already see the first spring flowers. So that's what you're going to see in the little part where I show some videos from our walks. And right after that, you're gonna see flip through to this art journal. It's again, and I have finished an art journal. I'm gonna do a flip through to this art journal, and I'm gonna have the chapters so that you can jump from where you want to go. I have shown that already, but there's one thing I have to talk about, and that's mixed media and more on Monday. Now, I'm gonna switch from my web page to a YouTube membership. Some of you may know that I do translate my mixed media more on Mondays into German also, and it's quite a bit of work. And now YouTube has this really cool feature with the artificial intelligence that it translates any caption you have into a ton of languages. I don't have no idea how many languages, but there are many languages, and I choose just German and French because that's what I can correct. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch from my membership on my website to a YouTube membership. And for those who are already in that membership, don't worry. For a while, I'm gonna have it on both platforms, on my website and on YouTube. So, and as soon as everybody has reached their subscription end, I'm gonna stop the membership on my website. Now, I already have an idea what I'm gonna do, and by the way, it's gonna start around the 21st of March, so March gonna be a lot going on. So I have already an idea what I want to do, and I'm not gonna tell too much about it, but I'm gonna tell you what I did buy for that occasion. I have the idea of doing something in just indigo blue, and that gave me a good excuse to buy more supplies, just saying. Those are only the supplies I have purchased specific for that. I do have other indigo blue supplies, like I do have fabric and things like that, which I want to go use too, but I'm just going to show you what I have purchased for this occasion. Now, I do have an indigo blue acrylic paint from Sennelier, from the same company. I also have the acrylic ink in indigo blue. I do have from Daniel Smith watercolor in indigo blue, and from Lefranc Bourgeois I have the gouache in indigo imitation, they say. Of course it's an imitation. Just saying. And that's actually an indigo blue pastel, soft pastel. And I also have like a Derwent Coloursoft. It's a colored pencil. I never have used Derwent Coloursoft. I have no idea how they are. I do have, that's one of the examples. I do have Derwent Inktense. They have an indigo blue too. If I can find it really quick now. Nope. I know I have it somewhere. Dark chocolate. You get the idea. I do have the in the Inktense. I have an indigo blue too, which is a water soluble thingy. And I also have a blue from Caran d'Ache, the Luminance. That's a colored pencil. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna use to work in the first project for the new YouTube membership. Now, if you are interested in this YouTube membership too and not subscribed yet, I really recommend hit that subscribe button. I can't talk today. And any likes and comments are always appreciated. Now, with no further ado, let's go first on a walk and then do the flip through. Okay, let's start with this journal, which I made again out of like catalogs from nurseries and little fashion catalogs. And the title page, the front cover and back cover are 2 pages actually glued and sewn together. And as an focal point, I do have a really grumpy cat. Gonna pull her up a little bit. So she is on a separate piece of paper so that I could raise her up a little bit on the chair. For the chair, I have used some modeling paste, but I also added some crackle from, I think it was the Tim Holtz, I don't remember quite. And the stencil is one of my own stencils, which are available in my shop. This is actually out of a magazine, Out of the Ordinary. Make something out of the ordinary in something beautiful or something like that. I like dangles. That's that's why I added those. Now, always better together. I simply chiseled the page. You sort of can still see a little bit the text through the chisel, which doesn't bother me. It just gives an extra texture, a visual texture. Now this guy again is, I don't know whether you can see it, but it is on a separate piece of paper. I have to figure out where it is here. So it is glued afterwards. I did first paint the background in some purple and then did use jelly prints and yeah, mostly jelly prints. Unfortunately, his comb got a little bit bended. Oh well, it is what it is. And the page is not always the same length. Some have pieces hanging over. Yeah. I'm not sure what I added. It was actually a paper, some sort of paper. I just added like that. And then I did draw the figure. Those again are some of my stencils. Those are those quotes that you can find in the fortune cookies in the Chinese restaurants or whatnot. Just did experiment with a little bit of unusual colors for faces. So she has a rather grayish face, but her surrounding is very bright. Again, I was experimenting just with some shapes and forms, sort of an abstract thingy I did here. Here we have several transfers. Once that's a transfer of one of my faces on some napkin. That actually too is a transfer. You still can sort of see I didn't clean up everything, every bit of paper. I don't think it's always necessary that you remove totally the paper. Sometimes it gives a little bit of a grungy look. And then again, that's from a magazine page. And yes, you still can see the text from underneath from the page itself. Here I did put in a dip in, sort of. Painting some faces using my stencils. That's purely painted, no stencil at all. I just want to make beautiful things, even if nobody cares. Yep. I had these tags from some my sister and other people collect those tags for me, and then I turn them into my own tags, so to speak. So it's the original string, and then I just glued on some of my faces. Gone crazy. Now, yeah. Let's see, can I put it? Yeah, nearly the whole. Yeah, here we are. That's the whole page. So I made a flip out and added my face, and that's a napkin and a little bit of washi tape here and there. That's something from the catalog itself, because it's from a nursery. There are the original flowers from the page. And again, I did use up every bit and pieces. The face is one of my stencil and the circle is one of my stencil, and I turned it into this kind of double spread. I welcome the experience of happiness in my life. Here I have some collage pieces, and then I sort of made a background for it. So that was a table from a magazine, and this piece was from an art catalog also. And then, yeah, I made the background pretending that's the floor, that's my wall, and she told stories. Now, here I did experiment also with some metallic foils. Added some collage, some of my own girls, and then I added the, just by applying gel matte, and then I applied the foil, some fabric here. Yep. About it. That's all collage. Apart from a little bit of gesso up here, because I didn't like the green so much. But again, here we have the original page with the rose, and then I added more different things to that to make a collage. I covered the page completely with red paint and then did some doodling with the white Posca pen. Now here we have to see what we do first. That was last fall. I remember that. I had the feeling I wanted to paint those colorful foliage on the trees. Remember, I do have a lot of art journals. I have at the moment at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different types of art journals in work. So sometimes it takes quite a while until one is finished, but I don't mind that. Depending on my mood, I can choose and pick in which journal I'm gonna work. Now this one I have to do like sideways. There's no way. So it is this part here, I think. Yeah, until here. This part here is again a collage from another magazine, but then I painted in the background and added some more mountains and over the butterfly. That's, I think it was from a napkin or maybe a magazine, I don't remember. And I did paint in her whole beauty. So very unusual for me, but I have the feeling I want to add a black page and then see what I can do with neutral tones. Sometimes I do challenge myself. That's not my usual color palette. You know, I'm more the colorful girl. So, but sometimes I have the feeling I want to try out if I can get somewhere with more neutral tones, and I like it too. That was actually a rub-on, and that are some old vintage papers. That's from a magazine. That is one of my test stencil masks. It's a stencil available in my shop where you also get the masks. And I tend to try them out in paper first before I ruin some mylar foil, just saying. Again, that is one of those tags somebody gave me. I just added collage pieces to it and did put it in here. Another collage, bits and pieces, some rub-ons, that is some stuff I have stamped at one time. There's was it tape underneath. That's a hand-carved stamp of mine. And that is one of those foam stamps. I will put a link to the place where you can find those foam stamps. They are really fun. I would love to produce those foam stamps. I don't know how they do it. So then let's go back first here. Again, I did try out a little bit of the neutral tones. And here I don't know whether you can see it. Let's hold it up. That is actually a piece of corrugated paper which I did put on sideways so you can see the corrugation now. Some sketches of mine, I did, again, it's a hand-carved stamp, that pink thingy down here. That's again from my stencil I tested on paper first. Some doilies, yeah. Here I just did paint a face, mostly with graphite and charcoal and some pastel. And then I did spray fix it and used a fixative, and just for fun I added this little sort of a closure, but it's a photograph of a closure. So here I wanted to try out my bird stamp and my flower stamp, and yeah. Just collage with some stenciling and some gesso around, and those are my stamps. That's my stamp. Here I did use a lot of washi tape. I told you once I have a hard time to use up washi tape, and I totally forgot about that. Maybe I should do that more again, using the washi tape as bodies or as clothes for my girls. Anyway, that's again one of my stencils, which I used with some paste, some modeling paste, and then I added some gold color on top of it. That's from a magazine. That's actually some of my girls. It seems I was a lot in trying out the neutral colors and black. I don't know whether you can see it, but I did use a real feather here. Whenever I go for a walk, I find, most of the time, I find some feathers and I take them home and add it again, some masks, and it's a little bit of both. My stamp as a window, and this I found in a magazine. Creativity requires the courage to let go of certainty. It's really true. Whether you can see it. It was kind of hard because there was this creases there, but I did try to make a face and a figure and just some flowery things. Some days the faces come out very sad. I don't know why exactly, but maybe it's my mood, but I'm not sure about that. But it just comes out that way, and I totally accept that and just make the best out of it. So behind the story, look behind the story. I'm pretty sure this was either shorts or maybe even a YouTube video. I don't know. I don't remember. I have done so much, I don't remember. Anyway, again, it's one of my stencils, just using it in a different way, because if you have a face stencil, you can use it in so many different ways. Art does not reproduce what we see, rather makes us see. Then another, behind her smile, it is a hurting heart. Behind her love, she is falling apart. And then some sketches of figures and that are leftover from jelly prints that didn't work so well. And for the backside, I decided to do a pearly abstract. I'm missing abstract at the moment a little bit. There's so much going on. I really would like to do again a large abstract painting at some point. Now that's it for this art journal. And I can bind it together with some sari silk. I hope you enjoyed the video. Till next time, take care.